In this video, I'm going to be completely nerding out on beading stuff. Basically, I'm just going to make some friendship bracelets, like these. And before you ask why a guy's making friendship bracelets, I hope this doesn't age too badly, but I only have 2 words for you: Travis Kelce. So it's been a really busy life, and I just thought I wanted to do something that brings a bit of joy, it's a bit of fun, it's a little bit mindless, and it's a bit creative. To start that, I bought a set from Amazon. It comes as 2 packs, so it comes with a whole bunch of letters, and it comes with a whole bunch of colors. And the reason I'm not opening this is, one of the problems with these cases is, especially if you get the small beads, they tend to mix and they just spill all over the place and all the colors get mixed up. It's super annoying. The thing about this is that they put a little sheet, I try not to spill it as I show you, they put a little sheet there which hopefully keeps the beads apart, so if anything was to happen, is this was to drop, that all the colors wouldn't get mixed, but I wouldn't bet my life that that's not going to happen, so I'm just going to be very careful with that. As part of this kit, which was about 30 bucks, it comes with 2 different types of elastic. It comes with this sort of clear stuff which looks like fishing line, and it comes with this white stuff. Now, initially I thought that the white stuff was better than the clear stuff, but I've changed my mind now, because this was done with the white stuff, this Fearless one, and basically I find that it stretches a lot and it's not going to be a very good long-lasting thing. This clear one is actually much better, and I used it to make this fatter empathy one, and it seems to be much better than the white one. So bear that in mind when you think about buying the elastic that you need for the bracelets. So I'm just quickly going to show you some of the other stuff that I've got, and I know I've bought a lot of stuff, and I'm going to explain to you some of the intricacies and the nuances which makes this actually a fun experience and it's not a painful experience. So I bought these alphabet ones, which are obviously these, which are designed for the words on your bracelet. And I also got some other alphabet ones which I got from Officeworks. These aren't as good. And I got this container, which is obviously plastic, but it's got 12 of these little things that look like film canisters, if you guys remember what it's like to have film. But they store little beads. For the big fat ones, they don't store that many, but for the little ones, they store loads. And it's just a way just to keep everything secure so that it doesn't spill everywhere. One of the things that you've got to be careful about is if you've got small kids or if you've got pets, you don't want this stuff, especially these tiny ones, falling everywhere, because the kids or the animals are going to eat it and they're going to choke on it. Be super careful where you're doing this and make sure that they don't drop everywhere. Unfortunately, if you drop the little ones, I think rather than trying to pick them up, you're going to have to vacuum it and it's all going to go to waste. This is pretty cool. So this holds 12 different containers, and if you want to, you could actually put 12 of these in. You can maybe take this if you go on vacation and bring this with you, and you can do some beading while you're on vacation. And the thing about this is it's not going to spill. And because I never do things by halves, you know me, if I get obsessed with something, I get obsessed with something. I've got some measuring tape, pair of scissors. I was using this tray, which I'm no longer using, because I bought more stuff from Amazon. I'm going to show you. I haven't even seen these. I've got another kit with more beads, and these are very similar. I thought they were going to be bigger, but unfortunately they look like the same size as the other ones, so that makes me a bit sad. I'll talk about that in a second. I got these ones, which are different styles, and I'll also talk about that in a minute. I got 2 rolls of elastic, which obviously you need, and as I mentioned before, I prefer the clear stretchy ones over the white ones. I bought another case, and this is totally nerdy, but I feel like it's totally necessary if you're going to get fully serious into making friendship bracelets or any jewelry in particular. Now this case contains, well, it's all fallen out, but it contains picks, threading things. Oh, I'm just going to show you. It's got some more thread, it's got some needles, it's got a tape measure, it's got some other stuff, and it's got some other stuff. And I am so new to this, I don't even know what these are, but I'm sure they'll be useful. They look like some sort of clasps and rings and things like that. And you got all these tools. And the reason I actually bought this is for this thing. This is super plastic, but it's actually a bead tray. So you can actually design what your bracelet is going to look like, and set it all up before you try and string it. And that's super helpful, but I couldn't find this on its own, so it came with all the other stuff. Now this is what I like. This is kind of like this one, except it's got a number of little holders, which aren't round, but they're actually square. So they open up like that, and you can put beads and accessories in there. And it actually stores 12 of these in this little box. So once again, you could use this for doing stuff on the road. If you are going to be away from home, you can use this and not have the risks of your beads falling everywhere. Before in this video, I just wanted to go through some of the things I've already found. I've already made a few of these, and I just wanted to give you a few of my experiences of what you should and what you shouldn't do. Basically, if you're talking about friendship bracelets, what you want to do is you want to get it the right size. Theoretically, it's 6 inches for a kid, 7 to 7.5 for an adult. One of the problems with that is it really depends on the size of the person's wrist and how tight they want the bracelets to be. I made this one, and initially I made it 2 beads smaller, and whilst it fit, it felt really tight, and I don't like stuff that strangles my wrist. So I actually cut the elastic and redid it and actually put 2 extra beads in, and it feels really good, and that's way longer than 7 inches. And I don't have really fat wrists, but I find it much more comfortable with that. The other thing about sizing, you've got to remember, it depends on the size of the beads, because if you've got little beads, they don't take up more room, but if you've got a lot of fat beads, it's going to make your bracelet feel smaller, because obviously with big fat round beads, it reduces the diameter of the bracelet, the space that you can fit your wrist through. Now there's different ways of doing it. You can pre-measure it out using the measuring tape and stuff like that. I find that okay, but what I actually do is once I've strung all the bracelets together before I tie them up, I actually wrap it around my wrist just to make sure it's comfortable. But if you're making it for somebody else, you obviously can't do that. I've not had one so far that is too loose, but definitely had ones that are too tight, and it's not comfortable if you're going to wear it for a long period of time. As we nerd on, as we talk about different types of beads, now basically they come in different sizes, different colors, different materials, different shapes. The things that basically you got to remember is the big ones, like these round ones, the bigger the beads, the less beads you're going to need to make a bracelet. If you're using these tiny little ones here on the Fearless one, it's going to take a lot more. And one of the things is if you've got bad eyes and it's dark, it's actually really hard to thread the beads. So you're going to want to consider that. And it really depends on the look you want. And I find that a combination is cool. I don't like it when the letters are too small for the beads. So these letters here wouldn't look good on these fat beads, because I just don't think that the colored beads should overpower the message on your bracelet. And the other thing is, this is something you may not have thought of. I will show you using some of these. Is that with the bigger beads, they have a bigger hole. And sometimes, if you have really small beads, they're actually smaller than the hole, and they actually fall. I won't show you exactly, but you know what I mean. This little yellow one's going to fall through the hole, and it just doesn't work. So you can't have beads that small and that big together without something in between, because it just doesn't work. The other consideration when you choose bead size is that with the smaller beads, you need thinner elastic. And the thing about it is this elastic comes in 3 standard sizes. It comes as 0.5 millimeters, 0.8 and 1. I'm sure there's other sizes in between. But I find that most of the tiny beads will kind of accommodate a 0.8 or a 1, but it's only a very tight fit. What I like to do is, obviously with the little beads, it only goes through once, but with the fat beads, I actually double up the elastic. So each bead threads through 2 strands of elastic, and actually increases the durability of the bracelet, and it's easy to tie. I find that the little ones are really fiddly. My wife likes the little one because she thinks they look better, but they're actually much more fiddly to do. And because you can see, this is the white one, which I said I didn't like, and it leaves a big gap here. And I don't really like that. I'm not so confident about the security of the knot on these, and I end up using super glue to stick them together, and it sticks everywhere, sticks to the beads, and it leaves a gap. And this one's already stretched already. This one was smaller when I first made it, and I've only worn it like 3 times, and it feels like it's gonna fray. So I actually don't like the white ones. The plastic ones are far better. This one here that says Trust, I made with the clear plastic, and I haven't cut the knot yet, but it's kind of super glued. Apparently you can use clear nail polish. It just feels more sturdy than the white ones, so don't get the white ones unless it comes with a set. And I used some, and I've actually decided that initially it felt nicer, but actually don't like the white ones. And I much prefer the clear elastic, so I got 2 rolls of those. With the bigger beads, if you want to double thread it, you can probably use the 0.5s and just double them over. It becomes a 1 millimeter thread, but it actually increases the strength of the thing. And as I said, it's much easier to tie a knot at the end. Similarly for the letters, As I previously mentioned, I prefer letters that are bigger, or at least a decent size compared to the rest of the beads, because I don't want the other beads to overpower the letters. With these letter sets, you will find that if you get a whole set like this, it's awesome. But if you get tiny packets, it's been said that a lot of them don't come complete, and you don't get a lot of the rarer letters like the X's and the Z's and stuff like that. So if you need them, just bear that in mind. And none of these actually come with any numbers. So if you're planning on putting numbers, you're going to have to pick the specific ones that contain numbers, obviously. So that being said, different size beads. I think they're 9mm and they go 6 and then 5, 4. And these tiny ones are like 3mm. They're really hard to put in. And unfortunately, it looks like I thought that these ones I bought were a little bigger than that, but these kind of look like the same size as these, which I got the other day, which is a little bit disappointing. Then you have these flat clay ones. These ones I've never used before. And the thing about these compared to the chunky ones is that because they're like little discs and they slide one next to each other like that, you're going to need a load of them. For 10 centimeters, which you'll never be that big, but if you're going to do like a couple of centimeters, you may need like 20 of those, and here you probably just need 5. So bear that in mind, you might need a lot of them. Some of these kits seem to contain like other charms and things like this, which you may or may not want to put in, depending on your style. This one comes with a pair of tweezers, which is cool, and some other cool stuff, like a clamshell or something, and some smiley faces. So it really depends on what you want to do. It depends on the age group that you want to make these bracelets for. Obviously, it's just an individual taste thing, but some of the practical things, let me just repeat. You've got to get enough beads. You've got to make sure that the beads are the appropriate size and they've got to match well. Some of the beads are not compatible with others just because the hole is so big that some of the smallest beads will slide through. Remember that some of the letter ones, you don't necessarily get all the letters and you definitely don't get any numbers. The elastic is important because you need strength so they don't break. You've also got to get good elastic so that you can easily tie knots and the knots don't come loose. If you need to, you can either use glue or you can use nail polish just to tighten the knot a little bit. You need good sturdy containers so that your beads don't go everywhere. The rest of it is just a matter of using your imagination. There's plenty of websites, there's plenty of stuff on TikTok, YouTube, Etsy, and all these other kind of places where you can look for inspiration. You don't necessarily have to make Taylor Swift friendship bracelets. You can use these to make any other bracelets. You can make them to make other jewelry if you want. You can use it to make necklaces. You can wear them for yourself, you can give them away, you can trade them, you can even sell them online if that's something you want to do. It's meant to be fun, it's not meant to be frustrating, it's meant to be enjoyable, so enjoy it. And now I've got so much stuff, I've just got to work out what to do. This is the perfect distraction from life right at the moment. You just got to find what you find is enjoyable for you and what helps you get through each day with as much joy as possible. And I'm just going to go through all this stuff because there's all this stuff that I haven't even seen yet on these packets. And I'm going to go and look forward to making more bracelets just like this one. So hit me up if you like any of these designs and let me know what you guys are making, and if in fact you're planning on making them to either go to the Taylor Swift movie or whether you've got tickets to the Eras tour. I know most of the US ones are over now, but they are coming overseas and they're going to be coming to Australia in February. So if you've got tickets for that, you better want to get moving if you want to make some of these, if you want to trade them or give them away at the concert. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for being a nerd with me today. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll catch you next time in another video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't worry about what everyone thinks. Make whatever you want, wear whatever you want. Don't let other people talk you out of doing something you want to do. So that's my motto in life. You're not going to be around forever, so take care and have fun. See you next time.